Yeah, you gotta think about Jerry West's story, bro. They called him Zeke. Dark. White Zeke. You know White Zeke?
No.
Exactly.
No, what's White Zeke?
Zeke is a name, and he's the white one. And I've never seen another white Zeke, and they called him Zeke by the creek, and it rhymed. You know who gave him that name? That's a colorborn
Zeke
nickname.
by the creek.
That's really his nickname, bro. That's what they called him growing up.
It's like Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah.
Is it crazy?
Zeke by the creek.
Is this like, where'd you read this?
That's a fact. Everybody knows that about Jerry West.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
We went to Spike's, he did this exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum the other day.
Lee Jones or Jordan?
Lee.
Okay.
That'd be cool if Spike Jones did one. We went to Spike Lee's exhibit there, and he was saying the 94, the team that got to the finals and lost to the Rockets.
Yeah.
Was like, he's like, that's the most excited the fan base had been. But I'm like, I feel like this team could actually get there.
Even more so than Nate Robinson, or who got punched? Was that Melo on the Knicks that punched somebody?
Yeah, Melo was in Denver. That was before
Melo was in Denver.
J.R. Smith, they got into it with the Knicks.
Who
at
punched
the Garden.
who?
I forget who was on the other side of that.
That was an invigorating
That was
team.
an underrated fight.
Yeah, that was a good punch.
That was an underrated
I saw that live. And I saw Malice at the Palace live. It was crazy.
You were at it.
No, I was watching.
I was like, you were at the Mouse of the Palace. I was like, what?
No, that would have been.
I was like, all these years you've never told me that.
Do you have a top 5 dudes you want in a brawl in NBA history?
I want in a brawl?
Yeah, like if like shit goes down.
Oh yeah, Javaris.
All right, Clippers, you think they can win?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I ain't watched a basketball game in full in years.
Well, all right, so this is what he does. This is why this is bullshit to me. Because he's been saying this for the last 3 years. He's like, I don't watch sports, I don't watch basketball, all this different stuff. And then it'll be 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, and he'll be watching the Suns Pacers game, and he'll say something. He'll be like, yo, I can't believe Tyrese just did this, did it also. Clearly, I'm not talking about the finals or the playoffs. Clearly you're watching something.
But that's what I'm saying. I'll see 5 minutes per game here, 3 minutes. You gotta think, bro, TV don't exist no more. So how are you watching? You gotta think, bro, how are you watching
but you have
these
on
games?
your phone. That's actually not even an
I've never watched
excuse.
anything on my phone.
You wouldn't watch any sporting event on your phone?
I wouldn't watch a music video. I wouldn't watch a video somebody sent me on my phone.
So you're telling me, I'm putting you on the spot now. You're telling me in the studio,
have you ever seen
in
me
the
watching
studio
something
he's
on my
never
phone?
watching basketball?
Listen, I'm just amazed that he's able to know all these players and I don't. And I watch probably more sports than he does.
It's crazy to me that I feel like this is your bit that you don't watch sports, but then you know every sports.
No, but I'm not saying I don't watch sports, but I haven't watched a game.
A full game.
Yeah, but you don't have to watch game. That's why I say I can't even be I don't know the dynamic of the team.
So you just watch the highlights.
Yeah, or I watch a little bit here and there, but it's not bro, I don't have TV. And if you don't have TV, there's nothing going. I got Hulu has live sports. That shit, it ain't no live sports on Hulu, bro.
So you don't have anything you watch every week?
No. Well, Family Feud.
Family Feud?
And Next Level Chef.
I love Family.
I watch Family Feud every day.
Did you guys watch Maury back in the day?
Yeah, I watched Maury.
Did you ever go?
No.
That was my dream to go to that show.
Really?
When it's an album, it's your name on it. Until you're I'm good, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. But you got a crew of writers. Shout out to Maurice Williams, our boy.
Ian, Crystal,
Amy, Winter.
You got a crew.
Jeff,
you got a crew of writers. You got to deal with. You got to deal with Netflix. Yeah. You got to deal with all kinds of other shit that's outside of your control. And so in terms of managing both sides of that,
I think it was just being even. I think the whole time we approached it as Vince and I were always going to be this team, right? It's just always he and I trying to find our best ways to communicate a vision. I was wildly surprised at his ability to adapt, right? Now, the thing around his adaptation of learning how to write and do final draft and all these other parts and bringing these characters to life, which is complicated, because he's writing for himself at first, but then you got to figure out how to write these other characters so that they also have a voice. I think that it was really just keeping most of the things at bay as we figured it out. That was probably the biggest job on my side, is finding a way to give us enough room and also get people to be honest.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I think when you're dealing with networks, they don't necessarily know how to just say it. Because
so you mean the networks being honest in terms of notes?
Everyone's got to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think we just come from such a brutally honest space with each other.
You guys are honest.
Yeah, I know. I think we're like
too honest.
Yeah. So I think sometimes we had to get to that. Like sometimes you'd be like, oh, this could be red. And it's like, well, really, they don't want a color. They want a number.
A lot of the times people undermine the intelligence of the audience. And then that becomes learned behavior. It has to be this way. It has to be this way. It has to be 3 acts. We need an act break. We need this. We need that. We need that. And I feel like a lot of the times we just have to have conversations like, okay, we're making a dark comedy in a streaming era. Name another one. Oh, well, they got this and they're not. They're for television. They have commercial breaks. Well, we can't put our title cards or like we had little videos, but that was too expensive to clear. So we had title cards. We ended up putting in the show. I was like, because it's important to have tonal breaks in this dry, slow show, or else we end up boring. Yeah. It's a big difference between boring and interesting, but there's also a fine line between the two. Do you get what I'm saying?
For sure.
So there's little stuff like that, understanding that. So the way that the show was written, right? And it was always the intention. Vince Staples show is not about Vince Staples as a character. It's about a perspective. It's a Vince Staples show because I made it, not because it's about me. You get what I'm saying? And I think that was a hard thing for a lot of people to grasp. So what Corey was saying, going from writing for me and then writing for the characters, it became weird and kind of a disconnect. Not weird is a bad word. It became a disconnect, but it became weird for them because they're expecting me to come in and write a show about myself, but I'm writing a show about other people and how they view me in the world. And that's when it became, what is Vince going to do? What is this? What is that? What is that? But it just becomes conversation. It becomes information about tone, information about execution, information about directorial style. Because I don't think people really... It's going to sound like I'm saying it's like age is like an age thing or racially motivated. It's neither one of those things. I just don't think people think I know as much as I do about certain things. Not everything, but just certain things. So if I'm making a show, they're expecting me to have seen certain shows. Like we had a big conversation. They always say, "Oh, this is just like Curb. Have you seen Curb?" I haven't seen it, but I know who Larry David is, and I'm familiar with the work, and I like it. Like even when you talk to me about Seinfeld, like I know Seinfeld because it came on after The Simpsons as a child, but I don't have a relationship with the show. Doesn't mean I don't think it's great. But then that would kind of throw people for a loop. So then it would get shaky. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So especially when you're dealing with a big company with a lot of finances and a lot of things on their slate, it's not wrong to answer those questions for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a place a lot of creative people have to get to. Because of course I'm going to ask you what you're doing if I don't know what you're doing. But sometimes that hurts people. So we just wanted to make sure that we were kind of communicating and letting people know the real influences, the real, identity of the show, just the way that I wanted it to be.
People think for whatever reason that you're like...
Yeah, I'm angry and shit.
But you're like, you've been like...
I'm a ball of joy, bro.
He's more caring in his old age.
Yeah, when I was a kid, bro, like, trust me, some shit happened once on the news and I was watching that shit with popcorn and like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Is it weird with the comp thing? I'm thinking about like when Issa did Insecure and how long it took for her to get that. She's talked about it publicly, she's talked about it privately, whatever. How long it took for her to like get that show on. They had to bring Larry Wilmore in to literally get the show on the air because it wasn't going to get on the air without them having like a quote unquote adult in the room, whatever it is. And then within a year, it's a huge hit. And then within 4 or 5 years, it's winning awards and it's something that everybody's trying to copy. Is it weird sometimes where it's like these places are scared to give it a chance, and then the second it works, they're basically like, "Oh, we want our version of that." Is there an element of like sometimes you just need to kind of like be like, "Trust me, this is going to be this"?
I'm gonna tell you why I say no. How many things don't work, and how much do all those things cost?
Yeah.
So if you have 10 things that don't work and 2 things that do work, somebody getting fired.
Yeah.
But that's why everybody gets fired. You get what I'm saying? That's every network. That's every situation. We done shot pilots that we thought were good, didn't air because of financial reasons. They just, they're saying they're going to can or delete the Coyote vs. Acme film that costs all that money because for a tax cut.
$70 million movie is just like down the drain.
So it's like, if somebody just lost $70 million for their job, it's not their money. Of course they're going to be nervous about greenlighting the small thing because if Coyote didn't work, I don't know if Vince Staples is going to work. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I would applaud them for giving us the opportunities that they did. I would never say that we've not had a fair shake at doing what.
Because you're on the air. Because the reality
It doesn't have to be.
The reality is it doesn't have to be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And now, of course, there's a million things that were wrong. There are many things that were right. That's just the nature of human beings doing things together. But my thing is, at the end of the day, I didn't change what I wanted to do. I made it work for them.
Yeah.
But I didn't change a lot. And it was a conversation. It was plenty of conversation. What is he doing? Why is he doing this? And it wasn't from a negative place. It was from a place of concern because everybody has jobs and families. And it's like, if I go back to my job with this shit that sounds crazy, but if it looks crazy,
yeah,
then I have to go back to my family and tell my family what happened when I lost my job. Yeah. And that's the way I look at the shit. Bro, if you see me on TikTok dancing, how would you feel?
Have you ever been on TikTok?
No.
No. If I saw you on TikTok dancing, I would probably call you and I would think that there was something going on in your life. I don't know what it would be.
You had a crisis?
Have you seen 1,000-Pound Sisters?
No.
Like, let's talk about real cinema.
What is that? 1,000-Pound Sisters?
1,000-Pound Sisters.
You drive around in a minivan.
Timmy and Amy, bro.
In a minivan.
If I was Timmy and Amy.
Are they 500 each?
No. Tammy's a little bit bigger than Amy. And then their brother Chris, they got their other sister.
Argue a lot.
Fire.
Where do they drive to?
I'm talking about they stars, bro.
That's
1,000-Pound Sisters is the best weight loss show. It's the best family show, and it's the best non-scripted show. Like, as far as entertainment value, it's not even close because it's not salacious. They not making fun of each other. It's not demeaning. And when they are demeaning each other, it's like, shut your fat ass up. They're like, you shut your fat ass up, bitch.
You could do that job.
No. I'm scripted only, bro. I'm here for art,
Why?
bro.
But there's money in the non-scripted.
I don't care about money, Tommy.
That is true.
I'm okay.
You would crush that show, though. Yeah, what are you talking about?
I'm okay, bro.
Imagine if you hosted Survivor.
We already get paid, bro. That's different.
Imagine if he was like Jeff Probst.
Nah, I would do Fear Factor.
Oh, I totally like.
You know what I mean? Like a show like that.
I would do Fear Factor.
The Bachelor.
No.
Why? Love is Blind.
I wouldn't want to be there. No.
There's been a lot of things that you've done that you have not put out, that you have spent. Vince and I would joke about it, but it would be like however many songs you've recorded that are never going to see the light of the day. With this show, you know, you got it to a place where you were able to put something out. How do you feel like you landed that tone? And how do you basically feel like you landed on something that you were happy with?
For one, people only know what you give them. And I'm going to give you honesty because you're my friend. So people only know what you give them. So it's very imperative that you don't get too caught up in what the idea should have been or would have been. You're going to have production woes. And a production woe isn't necessarily something negative. It can be rain. You know what I mean? You're going to have page cuts. You're going to have budgetary issues. And a lot of people can deal with that from a viewer standpoint. You know what I mean? And no one's watching the show and be like, oh, man, I feel like they cut page 7. Like, that's not how stuff works. So I think it's just kind of being malleable and being able to know what's going on with whatever's kind of the situation is. And I feel like with us, it's a show. You know what I mean? It's not just something that you're doing by yourself. So once you kind of let that go, it becomes easy to be like, all right, this is what I got to work with. I think our biggest thing as people is just transparency and honesty. Because if I know what I'm working with, then I can just make anything work. That's just my kind of standpoint on life. And not to prattle, but like, we're just able to like create things for a living. And that's ridiculous to me. So anything after that is like...
You get paid to create.
So you know what I mean? So whatever you got to deal with, I feel like to kind of round about your question, I think the tone is something that was important. But it was going to be that anyway because I wasn't interested in doing anything else. It was just whatever version of that we can execute.